My name is Frank. I have been working for Scanvict and Marel for quite many years, actually more than 30. Okay, what I'm going to talk about is a project to Ukraine. And one of the reasons I had chosen this one is because there is a huge break in our culture. Because when we're selling something, we normally want to have it installed right away. But that is not the case in the Eastern Europe. So back in 2005, we had a cooperation with a company in the Netherlands called Main. They are delivering a system for the poultry industry, but what they could not deliver was scales and terminals and labeling stations. So we received an order in, I think it was in May 2005, for 9 labeling stations. We were dispatched to mine, and to tell the truth, we forgot all about it. Might be because of the merge with Marel in 2006, but everything was forgotten about that project. Until 2010, we're talking about 5 years, they called us, could you please come down and install this equipment? And as a matter of fact, we went down there to Ukraine, and we did find all the equipment, and we were supposed to install it. But still, power consumption, the power was missing, and the network was missing. So what we actually did, we installed it physically. We need to have this packing station in this position, and the other one in the other position, and they signed off. They were satisfied with that. Then we forgot it again, because we still needed to have the software installation done also. So 1 year later, they contacted us. We need to have this up running now in 2 weeks. Just to make sure that they were ready for it, we sent out a company which we cooperated with at that time called System Group. They went out there. It was a couple of hours drive from Kiev. And they found out that nothing had happened since last year. The equipment was actually in place, but there were no power and there were no network. So they told them, if you need to have this installed, you need to have this power and network to have it installed. So they did. But one of the problems was that the old system, the old software package, it was outdated, because now we're talking about 6 years. So we need to tell them, you need to have a new software package. It's much more fancy, it's much more modern. So, and they agreed, as long as it don't cost us. That was okay, because we had not installed anything yet. But there was one problem. Some of the terminal could not execute the new software package. So they needed to buy 9 new terminals. And then absolutely did not want to do that. We were talking about a cost of approximately 40,000 euro on top of it. So we need to go to the customer and visit the customer and try to explain him the benefit of having this new system, and also that he need to invest in new terminals. Of course, we could still just install it as it was bought, but we also knew that in 1 or 2 years there will come a statement from Marel saying the end of life of this product, we cannot support it anymore. We knew that at that time. So our task was to tell the customer, you need to upgrade. So a visit to Kiev was scheduled at the HQ for this company, Agromas. And we scheduled, I think it was in May. But we were scheduled to be there at 11 o'clock. And we arrived quarter to 11, and announced, here we are. Okay, approximately 1 hour left, and without any information. Then the information came that the meeting was postponed to 1 o'clock. I think it was just he wanted this, Mr. Seagal, he wanted to show his power. You just need to be roasted a little bit. So 1 o'clock we was called in for the meeting, and what happened? Without any form for introduction, the different person who was participating, we were just told, I need this system installed in 2 weeks' time, and I will have no more cost involved in this. And he left the meeting. So what to do? We just sat there, we waited, we discussed a little bit, and then he came back and he told exactly the same story. So now it's up to us, of course, to try to tell him you need to have this because there are so many benefits of having this new system. And I think we succeeded, but there still was the money involved with it. So during the time, the mine representative, Paul Wilmik, he was really scolding him, I can tell you. And he did it in German, and I can tell you German language is a very good language for scolding. And he really had a good time. So I think we discussed for 1 hour, and then again he left the meeting together with Paul, and they were away for half an hour maybe, and returned, and they had settled the payment. We do not know how it was done, but it was agreed there should be installed 9 new terminals. That was in May. So all the paperwork should be done, and then in December we got the order. So we took at least half a year more. So we received the money in December 2011, and then we started up. We had them dispatched in February, I think, 2012. And what happened? We had them installed by the system group, purely physically, but still the network was missing. And today, we're talking July 2013, we are at exactly the same state as in 2010. It has been installed physically, but we still need network. It might be that the reason for the delay, at least afterwards, we had this meeting with Mr. Seagal, could be problems due to communication. Maybe language. We've seen it often when we are discussing with our customer in countries where they don't speak English, or even in countries where the native language is not English. Because it's so difficult to have, even if you have a local representative who are speaking English, he will fall into the situation and speak the local language with the customer. And they can maybe discuss a single bit for half an hour, and they are returning in English. Can we do that? And that's a big problem. We are losing a lot of information due to this lack of local language. Of course, we are an international company, and we do speak English to some extent, all of us. But when we go into the what do you call it, the market where English is not a part of the education, then we have a problem.